Welcome to SML Total Access, the official podcast of the Sim Madden League. Now, here are your hosts, ZZ the Great and Primetime 000.
Hello and welcome to the SML podcast. This is SML Total Access. We're back at it again. I'm Primetime 000, and with me as always is my trusted co-host, ZZ the Great. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Prime? What's going on? SML, your boy ZZ the Great, Total Access. We're back at it every week, baby. We're bringing you a show.
Hey, man, I'm fired up. This show's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fire, man. You already know it. It's the hottest show on the SML network, the flagship podcast on the SML network. If you're looking to join a Madden League and you haven't found one, Sim Madden League, the place to be. Check out our fancy site, simmaddenleague.com. Just got updated. Anyway, let's get to the show. Talking about a psychological aspect of playing Madden, and I kind of want to get your thoughts about it. Let's say you're playing a game. At what point do you say, or do you throw in the towel? I've seen some guys. I'm not going to name any names. Raider fan, where he says after like the first BS play that he considers BS, he shuts down mentally. Where do you stand in the spectrum?
Me myself, because it's hard to gauge how to gauge your play from why you're doing it, or personally. So I like to believe that I don't really get bogged down, that I try to overcome the mentality of the defeatist mentality, where you get into a point where as soon as something bad happens, because you've been losing for so long, as soon as something bad happens, you just like, it's already over. Mm-hmm. But I try to think that I'm not like that, because I want to believe that I'm trying to battle against, because if you get like that, you get to the point to where you think it's not your fault that you're losing, that it's just, everything's stacked against you. So you have to, I'm hoping that I'm the type of person that I believe that no matter what happens, so he gets that first pick, it was BS that I didn't, that my guy dropped the touchdown pass, and then right after that he got a pick six and all that. It's real easy in Madden, especially in sports games, to get like that, because I play a lot of guys in my little circle of friends or whatever, and I'm one of the best guys in Madden and 2K and and stuff amongst them. But I'm in the SML, I'm pretty much the 20th team in the league. So I understand, because I see them do it all the time. They get down. As soon as something bad happens, I got a friend, he'll scream and holler the whole time you playing him in 2K, because he just assumes that the computer's against him. He assumes that everything is just so stacked against him. So I like to believe that I'm not like that, but I do understand where it comes from. But I think the best advice is that you just have to understand that it's not over after the first two interceptions. You can actually change the momentum of the game. There's things that you can do to come back, because I've seen a lot of you elite guys do it many times.
So let's say it's you're down 21 points, a minute left on the third quarter. You got the ball at the start of the fourth quarter. Do you think there's still a chance you can come back?
Just that scenario makes me think. I'm calculating already in my head, like, okay, if I can get the ball back. I mean, I got the ball back here. If I can go score, it's only a 14-point lead. Mm-hmm. One interception, and it turns it into a 1-point game. Mm-hmm. And so into a one-score game. One interception and a touchdown to turn it into a one-score game. So that's how I process that. But then I'm pretty sure it's a lot of guys that just get bogged down and think that, hey, 21-0 in the third, man, I'm just gonna start running and get this game over with, so I can go get back to my happy life,
Right?
Because nobody likes to lose in Madden. let's just be real. None of us like to lose. So I think that because you don't like to lose, once you get down, you want to get out of that depressed, oh fuck, I'm finna lose type feeling, right? And just get back to you. You might have been like freaking happy as hell right before you played, but then now you're in this game and now you're pissed off and you're mad, so you just want to get out of it, and get back to your regular life.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that feeling many times.
Yep, I agree 100%. Even when I'm down, not that I'm down very often, but when I am down, even if there's a minute 30 left, I genuinely have in my mind that I'm going to come back and win this game. Whether or not it's realistic or not, that's another story.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about some. Go on.
Yeah, no. But I was just going to say the other side of that coin is like, when do you decide that that the game is over on the other side of the ball? Because I've seen that happen too before, to where I might be up on a guy, 3 touchdowns or whatnot, and you don't want to just necessarily like push that knife deeper. And it's the same. Let's take your third quarter example, and you're up 21 points. You don't want to, do you start running the ball at that point?
Yeah,
because that guy can come back.
Right. That's a good.
So
that's a
you
good.
stay in attack mode.
Yeah, man. For a while there, I was the type of guy who, when I first started playing, I would just take the knife and I'd shove it in their heart a little bit more. And then I've kind of mellowed out to where I'm like, okay, I'll let the score get a little bit closer. I think I'm in a happy medium where it depends on the opponent. If I'm playing a guy who, I don't want to say I take more serious, but who I've seen make these magical comebacks, then I might be more inclined to put it up by 4 scores in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That being said, in my opinion, it's sim to make sure you've got the game locked down, as long as you're not obviously running it up. It's a line that people try to toe, it seems like at times, but hey man, at the end of the day, you've got to do what you got to do to win the game within the rules. So I'm a guy who likes to make sure I've got the game locked up while being respectful.
Yeah. And I guess that's, and that would explain, some of these variances of a 60-point game every once in a while. Sometimes a guy is up 48 points at halftime. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and you don't want to be that guy that makes SML history and lose a game the second half by 2 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't score in the second half. Yeah.
Exactly. So, moving on, though, switching gears. We've got some guys in the leaderboards right now that are kind of making some waves. Actually, I'm looking right now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that, if the season ended today, according to Daddy Leagues, they're 8-4, and they would be in the 6th seed. They would make the playoffs. Are the Steelers going to make the playoffs? Should people start talking about John Christman or somebody like Conk, the Jaguars, the Texans, or the Browns going to kind of eclipse them?
Yeah. John Christman was always a good player in the primer, and I thought he would be, doing better when he first got into the league. And he didn't do so well, of course, I think. And then he had the accident where he had to leave and came back or whatnot. And so, but I mean, honestly, at 8-4, if you're 8-4 in the SML, I mean, it's not like he's playing in a pussycat division, so. Yeah, the John Christopher could easily make the playoffs. I mean, because he's running and Woods and who is Rowan-Koo?
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals, yeah. And that's not very easy to do. So unless I haven't really looked at the schedule, unless he hasn't played many division games, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. And yeah, John might make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, man, his schedule looks favorable. He has the Browns, tough opponent, but then he's got the Dolphins, the Broncos, who are a playoff team, and then the Eagles. Eagles not the same this year. We'll hit on them in a bit.
Yes.
Looking at other teams, though, let's talk about the Broncos, actually. The Broncos, 9-4. Haas has been out. Broncos, though, either way, they're winning some games. They beat the Meats this year. They've also they beat the Bucks this year. They've beaten some quality teams. They beat the Panthers this year.
They beat me, knocked me off my win streak.
Yeah. So, what's to make of this team in Denver Broncos? Are they Super Bowl bound?
Hey, Chris and Kales, man, that's my homie. I talk with him, and he's a real cool dude, man. Yeah. And I actually like seeing him succeed right now. And he, like I said, he knocked me off my win streak. I thought I was going to come out doing pretty good this year, and it was derailed by the Chris and Kale little train that he's running right now. But yeah, man, he's always also been a great primer player. Most of these guys coming out the primer are good ones. I mean, we try to bring up players based on their activity and that kind of thing, but usually the active guys are usually the guys that are winning.
Right.
That just is how this thing goes.
Right.
But Chris is one of those guys. He's active. He's in the fourth place in the AFC. At 9-4, it looks good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And here's one that'll kind of shock the SML right now. The Seattle Seahawks are up one game on the San Francisco 49ers. Spooky World is coming off a win against Future Empire. And listen to Spooky World's schedule. He's got the Giants, the Packers, and the Saints as his last 3 games. And meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks up one game. They have the Bucks, the Eagles, and the Jets remaining. Is Future in trouble?
Jets. Ooh, that could be that could spell some trouble for Future, man. Future's a regular season warrior, though. He's always stood up in the regular season, and currently being at what is Future right now? You said
he has 8-5, and
8-5.
Spooky is 7-6.
Ooh, that's tough, man. The NFC, you're not gonna. I wouldn't count on making it in at 10-6. So considering he has the Eagles, he has the Jets, and the Bucks. Future might be in a bit of trouble, man. And they had a game today, which was a real good game between him and Spooky. And Spooky ended up pulling that game off in the second half. And that to me, that's a question, man. I have to question my boy Future, man. What's going on, man? If you're not gonna make the playoffs this year, let us know, bro.
Yes, Future. I think this could be a portion of his season where he gets hot because look, he struggled beating the Eagles. I think he'll tell you that. And Eagles are right on the cusp of making the playoffs. And if Future beats Governor, not only will Future have a good shot of kind of securing a playoff spot, but Governor will basically be toast. Like, no more playoff hopes for him. So that'd be good for Future to win in the regular season, and then not only that, but eliminate one of his playoff rivals.
The landscape of the SML is changing so drastically. Do you think it's akin to us being late in the season, or is it just the new talent that's being brought in?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to say that I didn't write this down, but I wanted to.
Yes.
I'm gonna call it how it is. I said this before this cycle even started, and Governor started off so hot because the Eagles were the highest rated team, I think, coming into this Madden. And then he's not a very good team builder. He's a very mediocre team builder. So now Governor had a strong Jaguars team, the strongest Madden team I've ever seen last cycle. He won 3 rings. This season he started off, he won. But as the team fizzled out, Governor could not keep up. Now, a person who I want to kind of compare this Redskins team is very similar to that Jaguars team I seen last Madden cycle. They've got the pass rushers there, that defense is stacked. Just something to kind of watch out for. I'm just going to call it how it is. Governor is an average at best player who plays within the schemes of his team. I don't see Governor winning another Super Bowl for the rest of his SML career.
Oh wow. So you would say that yo, I hope you're hearing this, man. You better get back on your horse because boys counting you out for the.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit there and you think about it, we've got the Governor who lost the Super Bowl to me season 3, and he hasn't done anything since. He's made the playoffs a few times. Anyway, obviously the code's been cracked on the Governor, and I have a question for you. Obviously, Meats took a shot at me on crunching the numbers. I want to plug Crunching the Numbers, Coach with Paulie, all the shows, Rolling the Field. Did you watch that show?
Yeah. I did watch the show, most of it. I don't remember exactly where he took the shot at you.
Yeah. So basically, Meats went through my schedule. I'm 12-1 right now. I have one loss to the 11-2 Patriots. That's my only loss. He said my schedule is a cakewalk and it hasn't been that impressive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
I've played the Jaguars twice, the Texans twice, the Patriots, the Browns, the Bears, the Jets, the Vikings, the Packers. I have the Broncos coming up, and the Bills. Is Meats right, or is Meats just kind of salty?
you know, you know what it is with Meats, man. Meats has stepped up to the elite status in SML. So he figures that one of his biggest obstacles, of course, Prime. And so since last year with the whole
Chucky Gate.
rest gate, yeah, rest gate, where he rests starters or whatnot, I think that has sparked a new, like I even said it on the podcast of that playoffs that this is a new rivalry between you and Meats, the perceived new elite player, going up against the GOAT. So I'm not gonna say Meats salty, but of course he's looking for how shall I say, he's looking for reasons to why you've bounced back, after saying you probably washed.
Yes, I like
It's
it.
like,
I like
it's
it.
like a back pedal.
I like it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I told myself heading into this year I will not give Meats an opportunity to lose to keep me out of the playoffs. And Meats, I'll be there. So make sure that you're ready for an AFC Championship game. And, you can't run from that. So
I think it's destined that you guys are gonna meet up in the AFC Conference Championship.
yes.
It's got to be this way because life has just been that way in the SML, man. It just gets more exciting every year.
Yes. And now moving on. Let's go to our barbershop talk segment.
Yes.
For those at home,
Yes.
one of our favorite segments on the show. We see in the NFL in the past, the Patriots, I don't know, the Steelers are kind of teams with Big Ben in his heyday anyway, where they were the teams who dominated the NFL, and you could always count on them. So there was about 4, maybe 5 teams that realistically had a shot of winning the Super Bowl. NBA, what is it, 2, 3 teams? I mean, a few years ago it was like the Cavs or the Warriors. I mean, that was about it. So in the SML, would you say the SML parity is a little bit better than the NFL right now? Because now that Brady's gone out of New England, it's a pretty wide parity. What do you think about the SML? Do you think the parity's pretty wide there, or is it really only still 2 or 3 guys?
I think the parity is still kind of there in the same. They're very similar because here, you have the elite teams or whatever. Usually they can. I mean, where you change that would be the fact that the elite teams do have the user skills to win with weaker teams.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at what's been happening, like recently, the influx of new talent, and it might not be a show where hey, this season looks like this season. It covers a way broader spectrum, and it takes a hell of a lot longer for these guys to be replaced. But I think it's kind of still a similar type deal where you get these new owners in, and the fields of power will move around a bit, and some of the weaker teams stay weak teams. I mean, look how long I've been at the bottom right now, and unless I do something to change it, and I think by that, like we talked about on the last show, the team building, and you just mentioned it before about with Gov and stuff. The team building has a lot to do with that because this is a lot easier to win if your team is at 90 right now.
Right.
And like this year, I think I've gotten a lot better with team building. I mean, I got my squad at 85 already since the draft, and they're not bad. It's just I haven't gotten them to that elite range. But the parity thing, I think it's similar, but now after I think about it, it's not the same because of the users being able to break that with with their ability.
I would say, realistically, any given season, there's about 4 teams who I would say have a shot at the Simbardi. You're going to give myself, I'm going to say Oshi, I'm going to say maybe Grams has a shot, and now Sunday Squad. Until I've seen Meats, Haas has got his sickness he's dealing with.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
until I've seen Future kind of make those playoff pushes, I can't include them in the
Yeah.
list. So,
Yeah.
and until I've seen that, I can't say it. So, yeah, I would say there's about
Yeah.
4 teams. I'd say there's about 4 teams, and that's how, I mean, in real life, there's about 4 teams, I would say, right? I mean, the 49ers, the
Yeah.
Chiefs,
When they start. Yeah.
right, the Bucks. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting idea to
But
kind of toss around.
but do we? I mean, do you think we'll ever see 7 and 9 squad go on in the
No,
SML?
no, no,
Like
no.
the Seahawks did. Uh,
Well, that
no,
Sea
go ahead.
that Seahawks team, they beat the Saints, the Super Bowl champion Saints, and then they lost, I think, the next week, if I'm
Oh,
correct.
okay. No,
So and
no,
that was still impressive.
was it?
Yeah, there was a wild card game. They had the Beastquake run because Matt Hasselbeck was a quarterback.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
That being said, would now because this is interesting now because we have the new seedings coming up next Madden where it'll be a seventh playoff team. So you could have a 8-8 or 7-9 guy come in,
Yeah,
and could a 7-9
but
guy possibly beat a number one seed like a Prime, like an Oshie, like a whoever else
yeah,
Gov
and
if he's back.
that's the thing I was getting to. I think the hardest part will be getting into the playoffs because I believe once the playoffs start, I mean, yeah, I think anybody has a chance once they make the playoffs because I mean, going on a win streak and getting past a couple guys, is feasible. And if you get to a Super Bowl, anybody could
Yeah,
win any game
yeah.
against any one of the players in the SML. I think.
So how many guys in the league do you trust in the playoffs? Like, do you genuinely say, "Hey, if I were to bet on this game, I would trust this guy to win"? How many guys?
Oof, there's very few, very few. I bet with you. I mean, in this order, um, Oshi, um, Oshi, Gov, and Future.
So you would put money on Future to win a playoff game?
Uh, yeah. Well, I mean, he hasn't showed it, but I just believe that he's a way better player than what he is. And I think the odds have just been not with him for
Yeah,
some reason. Yeah. But I think if it came down to betting, and of course I'm scrambling this between Future, Haas, and Grams, besides those three out
hmm
and I just think Future is he's more consistent. He wins a lot, you know.
yeah.
Uh,
I
yeah, because he
would.
has like the best overall record in the SML, doesn't he?
Yeah. Up until like 2 seasons ago, we haven't updated it, but yeah, he's right there, top two, guaranteed. Um,
Yeah.
that being said, if I could bet money on anybody outside of myself, I don't know if there would be anybody. I mean, Oshi's proven, like, I don't know. Like, Oshi hasn't proven, I mean, he's won games, and if it wasn't for me, he'd have like 3 or 4 Super Bowls right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Oshi. I'd put money on Oshi.
Yeah.
That
That would
defense,
depend on who he was playing against, of
yeah.
course.
Like, just the average game against Gov or anybody else besides me,
Yeah.
I would put money on Oshi. Um,
Oh, shoot.
Prime's ego going through the roof. I'm 12-1 right now, feeling good. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. I mean, and you're the safest bet. And I always tell people like whenever the playoffs are around, asking me who am I going for this year in particular against two different teams,
Yeah,
and my answer is always are you asking me who I want to win, or are you asking me who I bet my house
yeah.
with, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
So
right.
if I pick one guy to bet my house and my whole future against, I throw it on Prime, and that's not me being because I like Prime or we're friends or whatnot. It's because I think that would be my best odds at surviving and keeping my house.
Right.
And if I go after that, you can put those guys in sequential order like I did
Yeah.
before. But I think that's the real choice. But there's not really that many guaranteed winners here.
No.
Of course, with your 15-time champ winning ass, you haven't made it easy.
Yeah, exactly. So final question then. What's your Super Bowl predictions? We're kind of in the playoff time, so who do you got to make
Man,
the
Meats
Super Bowl?
versus Prime conference championship. Prime ended up trying to destroy Meats and embarrass him and send him home. And then side, I'm gonna say Graham's finally makes one because I never picked Graham, man, and Graham is an excellent player,
Yeah.
and I think I picked him early on in the season, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, so that'd be a good bowl. Me versus Grams. We've done it before, I think once in a Super Bowl. Grams is a very, very solid player. That's actually my pick. I got Colts versus Cowboys, and if not, Colts versus Seahawks. I hear a lot of hype on the
Yeah.
Redskins, but I think Rams and future silent warriors right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and like I say, Sunday Squad is an awesome player,
yes,
bro. I believe in you, but I did see you lose to Grams in that Super Bowl championship in the primer. I also saw you get blown out by Grams recently last season, so that's the only reason I didn't pick you, brother. But you're an excellent
yeah,
player.
he's a great player, great player. Once again, I want to shout out Coach with Paulie. Check out his podcast, The Truth. Check out Playing the Field.
Yes.
Check out some articles by Royce. Everybody else who's doing stuff, Waking Up the Echoes. This is SML Total Access, the best league on PS4, and probably both consoles coming up here.
oh, oh.
So I'm just gonna put it out there. So join SML today, simmaddenleague.com. Check us out, guys. Thanks for listening.